Good morning and welcome to your Geek Show. We're so excited to be here. It's Miss Shannon. I'm here along with my good friend Jayton Satia.
What up?
Our friend Rob Callahan could not make it today though, so we'll have to muddle through without him. So we will actually.
Wah, wah.
I know. I felt bad because I would have bullied him into coming because he actually had some car trouble and I would have like done that mom thing and went and got him anyway. But that would have just made him feel bad, and we would have, he probably would have whined at me the whole ride. So
It's a nice day outside. He should have just biked it.
oh, please. Yeah, he's not doing that. He's like, it's a pretty long bike ride for him. I don't think he's suddenly going to do that. He's pretty hardy. Like, he would have rode his motorcycle if he could. I'm sure that there's a reason that is not. So it's not like he's afraid to go out in the elements.
Doesn't he have a retro Vespa or something?
Yeah, it's like a retro bike.
Yeah.
It's very Rob Callahan. So he would, if there was any reason that he could have ridden that, he probably would have. So if he says that he can't make it because of car problems, I believe him. He's not just... He didn't just oversleep or end up hungover or something. There's a legitimate reason why he couldn't make it.
Well, Rob,
so,
you better be listening right now.
Yeah. So if not, if he's listening, he's fact checking us and I'll start getting text messages from him. So what we'll do this week is that we will introduce our guest geek of the week a little sooner than we normally do. And with us today, the chief instigator of MASH digital marketing and our friend, the app hunter. It's John Marino.
Woo, woo, woo.
He's already and so you have to understand, John Marino is the king of social media marketing here in the Twin Cities.
Thank you very much.
He's had numerous companies that have helped lots of people with their social media strategies, and he's the one that's sitting here already, like, taking selfies and
He's
the
already
whole
taken
thing.
at least 10 selfies and 2 videos. And
Yes.
he's been here for 5 minutes.
You
Yes.
guys are ratting me out.
So he is the king of the selfie, and so if you ever need tips on how to increase your social media brand, John Marino and his partners in crime over there at MASH Digital Marketing are good at that. So the other thing that I think is interesting about him is that he's a very specific geek. So if you wonder who's that person when you go into like the Google Play Store, or if you're in the iTunes Store, going, who made all these apps and then who bothers to write all these reviews and tell you whether something's a bunch of garbage and just going to take up space on your phone? That's John Marino. Yeah. So he will play with apps all day.
That's your job?
That is my job. I enjoy it very much.
I watch movies for a living. That's awesome.
That is very cool.
We should hang.
I think so. There's an app for that too.
Yeah, see? He's the one that probably is like, you go, who actually says that all the time? It's John Marino that works. So, I mean, if you have a room full of people that can't complain about their jobs, the three of us are those people. I mean, I talk around music most of the time. He hangs out on his phone and looks at apps, and then you watch movies for a living. So
We're multimillionaires.
yes, in the coolness factor. That's
no
kind of
kidding.
thing.
I always joke with my friends, I get paid to do what other people are told not to do at work. I actually get paid to do it at work.
That is amazing. How long have you been doing it?
5 years.
And is this something that you were interested in from the beginning, as soon as the kind of the app craze hit, or was this something that you thought like this would be a cool job to have, just to go out there and review apps as opposed to movies for me?
No, it's been something that's been a passion of mine. Yeah, literally since the beginning. I got into it just like anybody else through curiosity, and then I made it into a profession. So I'm very happy with that.
So I always like to see what his recommendations are, because every once in a while he'll be super, super on target. Like he's basically like the app weatherman, that most of the time he's really correct, but when he's wrong, you're like, that, oh my God, you crashed my phone.
That does happen.
So you don't want to get mad at him, because in general, he will steer you clear of the rain and you will know when you need to take your umbrella. So you're normally fine. So before we get to the apps that he wanted to do, we're also going to cover a couple of geek stories of the week. And we're going to cover the movie Entourage, because I am... Yeah, so I'm blessed with, an Entourage geek, and I know that Jayton has also seen the movie. But let's cover a couple of geek stories of the week. So we'll start... These are actually both Star Trek related. We start with, sadly enough, Nichelle Nichols is... who's known as Uhura. You guys should remember that.
Absolutely.
She is recovering from a minor stroke that happened earlier this week. It sounds like she is in good spirits and able to have a full conversation, even though she did have a minor stroke Wednesday night. Remember, Nichelle is now 82, because all of our favorite original StarCast family members are getting up there in age.
That is so when I read it, it took me back to obviously a lot of the episodes that I loved her in, obviously the series itself, but it was absolutely that reminder of, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, because I remember Uhura being like, oh my gosh, she was gorgeous.
Yeah, well, she was. Like, if you look back at photos of her.
And
And
wasn't she the first
She was the first black woman to be cast in a major role in primetime television, and that was when Star Trek. Yeah, so that was when Star Trek debuted in 1966. So that was a big deal, and the fact that there were even like borderline interracial relationships that were being looked at during that time. And she was, I mean, if you talk about feeling old, I mean, she was clearly one of my role models, and somebody that I'm like, it's so nice to see somebody else that looks like me on television. And so, you know, even though she was in a supporting role, it was still a major role, and it was a position of respect, and she was integral to the team. And so I mean, she's one of those people. I have multiple Uhura action figures in my collectibles thing. I don't know if they're worth any money. I really don't care.
There's a lot I mean, they're worth a lot of money to you.
Yeah, exactly, because as far as
your role model.
Yeah, and so I'm just, I was at first, I'm like, oh no, another one, because I was, of course, really, when Leonard Nimoy passed away, I was like, not another one, because you know how they say that sometimes these things come in threes, right? I presumed that they meant in the celebrity world. I was hoping that it was not three of Star Trek, not the same. Yeah, so
cast.
Or you hear something really sad, like when a couple who has been together for a really long time, they get into their 80s, and one member of the relationship passes away. The other one usually follows really closely. So I'm like, well, maybe they're that close of friends. So I'm glad to hear that, according to her family, she is recovering nicely. Good. And they're doing some other testing to determine how severe the stroke was. But she is in our thoughts, and I'm sure a lot of thoughts across the country. Speaking of other people in the Star Trek genre, though, Leonard Nimoy's son, Adam Nimoy, has started a Kickstarter. It is still going on, and what it is that he wants to make a Spock documentary. This is something that he and his father, Leonard Nimoy, had been planning for a while, that would chronicle the evolution of Spock, the Star Trek character, and Adam Nimoy launched his Kickstarter. Last time I had checked, he's trying to raise a total of $600,000, and he's given himself until July 1st with this Kickstarter, and he had a little over $90,000 last time I checked. Okay. And it really seems like...
When did he launch it?
He launched it on the beginning of June, so he just started it. Okay. And so he's got a month to make it. Now tell me, for a documentary, is $600,000 enough money for him to accomplish what you think he's going to be able to want to do with this documentary, Jayden?
I think so.
Okay.
There's always that. It all depends on what kind of information is being presented to you. Is it just home videos, which he has 100% license to because it's his home videos of his dad, or is he going to go out there and license some stuff from Star Trek? There is series actually show clips of Leonard on the set and just being goofy or just having fun with it. So
it sounds like they also want to conduct a lot of interviews with a lot of Leonard Nimoy's friends and colleagues. So they want to do those kind of things. There's travel
involved. There's accommodating the guests that they're going to speak on behalf. So I think $600,000 is not a lot of money.
Okay,
honestly, to make a documentary of that individual per se. I mean, he's a high status individual that passed away. But also $600,000 is a lot of money to make a documentary, period. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It depends on who the subject is and how big you want to go with the documentary. Now, do you want it to actually get perhaps Oscar contention? It's all about what the end goal is. The end goal for this particular, again, if he's on Kickstarter, that means he's honestly doing it for the fans, because I'm assuming a part of that will be like, look, if you give me money to make this documentary, perhaps he'll give a DVD to the people who
give a certain amount.
So I think he's also doing it for the fan as well. So.
And he is, at least, it sounds like they already have Zachary Quinto, who's been playing Spock recently, on board to narrate the entire project. So it doesn't look like he's just throwing it together. It's something that he had talked about with his father starting, it sounds like, according to reports, last Thanksgiving. So he did make sure that his father was on board with it. And so it'd be something.
Well, that's great. And again, I'm sure a lot of these, I'm sure if he is able to get Zachary Quinto to narrate it, he's also probably going to get Shatner to come on board and just hopefully say a few words about his dad. And I'm sure that those guys aren't going to ask for money by any means. They'll just do it because they're talking about it.
I need to check it out more directly, because it's the kind of thing that I'm like, I would give them money. Yes, exactly. I would. I totally would. Yeah. So
I wouldn't probably give something that would, cost me an arm and leg, but I would absolutely want to contribute.
Yeah, it's not going to be my number one thing that I, contribite to for.
But as a fan, I feel obligated to. I want to see this film. And again, I'm not sure how good. Is it Adam?
Yes.
I'm not sure how good of a filmmaker he is, if he's a filmmaker, but I want to see that finished product, and I want to see what kind of story is told from his perspective about his dad.
Right. Well, we do have until July 1st to go ahead and kick money into the Kickstarter. And if everything works out, it sounds like they're hoping to have something released by 2016. All right. That's not made yet, but a movie that is made and out in theaters right now, the movie Entourage.
Yay.
And so I know our friend here, John Marino, the app hunter. I'm not used to calling him that. Like when he's all like, hey, he like texts me. He's like, call me the app hunter. And I was like, for reals? And so
thanks a lot, Shannon. I appreciate all your support. I want to take time out to thank my third grade teacher for getting me this far.
But not only is he a fan of different apps, he's also a fan of Entourage. Jane's Addiction on the theme song. Entourage, for everybody who has not watched it, basically I call it a Hollywood bro story for the main character as an actor. He is so you can chime in anytime you want now, John, because I know that you're going to say Vinny Chase. And so the thing about HBO series, that one of those comedy dramas that are very popular right now, and I feel like the show Entourage is one of those that you either super dig it and you get it, or you're kind of like, I don't so much know. Because they can get very bro-y, don't you think, on that show?
Absolutely. I think that's a point.
This show's for guys.
Yeah.
I mean, again, and women watch it too. I have a lot of friends who are women who watch the show, who like the show as well. But it's definitely geared towards men. And the show creator, Doug Allen, he actually went. So Mark Wahlberg is basically based loosely on Mark Wahlberg's life when Mark Wahlberg actually came to L.A. So he had this core group of people that he hung around with. He still hangs around with. He makes cameos in the movie and he makes cameos in the show.
And I thought I
his
had
whole
read
entourage
that
too.
Yeah, when I first heard that they were going to launch it, I thought that one of the things they said is that they originally wanted to just basically do a reality show type thing that followed Mark Wahlberg and his posse. Marky Mark and his posse around, because they were just such a collection of weird dudes, right?
And that's exactly right.
And so now they've just fictionalized it, and then we ended with the show Entourage, which got 8 seasons. We got 8 seasons out of it. It sounds like we had 5 really, really excellent ones and 3 kind of. We still watch it because we like it.
At the end of any kind of series is they try to do too much and then they try to go deviate away from the actual characters and the stories. Now, I'm not sure. I'll ask this question out to you. Who do you think is a central character? And I know we're made to believe that it's Vinny, but who do you think the story is all about?
Well, I personally think that Ari Gold, Jeremy Piven plays, is fantastic. It's amazing how he makes it look so natural because he just rattle off all these one-liners.
He's a shouting phenomenon on that show. Like the few clips that I do know a lot about are Ari's, and I found a few of them. You know what? It took me a while because we don't have a big swearing show, and so they sit there and try and make the show not, swear-ridden was really difficult. But I do have some of what it seems like would be the best of Ari.
Don't tilt your head. You can hold the phone when I'm cutting your hair.
Lloyd, come hold the phone.
You're impossible today.
You're impossible, my man.
Call me Helen Keller because I'm a miracle worker.
Let's get up. Unbelievable.
Down in front!
I paid $2,000 for the seat. I'll get out there and launch a 3 if I want. I was going to go to the game with you. I told Emily that we were going to be late. Okay? I went to go talk to Vin. He's doing he's got an 18-wheeler with equipment and going crazy. They're making power shakes. I don't know. He got the crazy glasses on. I don't know what's happening. I told Emily to call you.
What are you talking? What language are you talking? You thought you were Is this an excuse? I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, it is exactly what happened.
What happened? I still don't know. You're talking Chinese. Drive that way in Tiananmen Square.
I want to Angelina Jolie. The only difference is I might actually have a shot. No, Eric, do not fear. I got my top lieutenants meeting me in the war room in 10 minutes.
Ari, I'm getting killed over here. Vince isn't happy.
Of course he's not happy. Nobody's happy in this town except for the losers. Look at me, I'm miserable. That's why I'm rich.
I really love Jeremy Piven in just about anything anyway, but really I do understand why he shined in this role. Because, talk about going all in on a douchebag character. It is really just fascinating to watch him
Now, people think Art's a D-bag And he may portray one. I think he needs to be for his job, but that's a sentimental man right there. Like he loves his family. He does. He does everything for his wife,
absolutely,
and his kids, and that is a bottom like of his like why his rage is so much. It comes from the fact that all he wants to do is leave a legacy for his family.
But he's so rude to like the people that work for him on the show, and like the way that he like treats his staff, and it makes me go, is that really what? And that things are fictionalized, but I'm still like, oh my gosh, do I need an agent that's like that? Is that why I'm not famous? Is because I don't have someone that just shouts and yells and does all that and treats people abominably?
He definitely has his actors or his crew, they're back. Like he'll go to bat for them any day because he trusts you 100%. But you also have to realize that he's all about the money and business and growing and getting up, moving up the ladder and owning studios, and so he will not waste one word. Every word that comes out of his mouth actually has meaning behind it.
Absolutely, and I think man or woman, you're going to appreciate the way he knocks around every single person that walks into his life. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, if you're the assistant, if whoever you are, you're all fair game. He holds nothing back, and it's so enjoyable just for that. You should go see the movie right now.
Now, as fans of the TV show, is this one of those situations where you think that they wrote it still thinking that Vince's character was going to be the primary character, and then Jeremy Piven like just blew everybody away, and it ended up being that his character took over, or was that the plan?
I'm not sure what the plan was, but I think as soon as I watched the movie, I'm like, it was satisfying, right? It wasn't disheartening, like, oh, they butchered it by any means. And honestly, I just wanted to, quote unquote, see a few friends that I hadn't seen in a while.
Okay.
That makes more sense, because you get to get in with these guys. Like, I like Turtle's character. I like Drama's character. I mean, he's all over the place with his emotions, so I kind of like that guy too. And obviously, you go for Jeremy Pivens, and again, Vince is just. I mean, it's called Entourage. It's not the Vince show,
right?
It is, and I think that's what the movie holds true to.
And the movie's not doing poorly. I don't want to imply the movie. I mean, it was #1 for that first week, and then it did get knocked out by Melissa McCarthy's movie Spy, but we could kind of see that coming. Yeah. And people were really looking forward to that. But it does sound like, even with the critics kind of poking at it, but it's the kind of movie that I think critics. It wasn't made for critics. It was made for Uber fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I think it delivered on that regard. Now, again, I'm a fan of this show, so I went in with expectations of, like, I want to know what this movie is going to be all about. And when I went in, I'm like, oh, this is just a big, long episode. Awesome. So It wasn't like an epic that they tried to change. It was just like a big, extended episode.
Now, when I went with my friends, a couple of them had not even seen the series.
And did they like it still?
And they did like it. They said it was very funny. All the celebrity cameos were in it. They could follow along with the characters. You could pick up the storyline right away of what's going on. And it made them more curious to go back and watch actually all the episodes. So,
and it does sound like the movie is going to at least meet the monetary expectations that they needed. It might actually exceed it by a bit. So they're going to make their money back.
Video on demand and the extension. I mean, they'll release it, I'm assuming, in Europe.
Yeah,
and some international markets. It will absolutely beat its production.
Which I think, at least the three of us in the room can say, if you are a fan of something, and we've all been fans of certain things, and you have very realistic expectations of it. So it does sound like you guys, as fans of the show, are satisfied and happy with the movie. So it didn't necessarily bring in new Uber fans. Like, it might not be enough to refresh the series, where they're like, the movie was so great, we're gonna make a whole new series, or we're gonna have up a bunch of Netflix or a Hulu series or something like that.
The only thing that could maybe see happening is going back to like an origin story of Ari.
Okay,
does that make sense? Like, how did he get to be where he is today? So maybe a younger version of Jeremy Piven that comes in, like another actor, and it's kind of like the Ari story.
Okay,
and again, just an FYI, Ari has a connection. So Ari Gold is based off of an actual agent, Ari Emanuel, who didn't like Ari's portrayal of him. Excuse me.
Well, who would?
Right. But he's now kind of getting like, okay, you know what? And again, Ari Emanuel says because of Jeremy Piven's characterization of him, he's getting more airtime.
Okay.
which is then good for his business, which is then good for his clients. So he appreciates it. But Ari Emanuel actually went to McAllister College.
Oh, okay.
Graduated here. So he currently lives in LA. So he does have a Minnesota connection.
And his brother is Rahm Emanuel,
Chicago
mayor.
Nice. And I'm sure he's sitting there going, yeah, that's what I want to be known as. The brother of that dude. You know, kind of stuff. But it does sound like it. I mean, it is nice to have those movies that they're just supposed to be fun. They're not, we don't have these everything doesn't have to be heavy. It sounds like you guys both said we'd
it's a good
see
summer movie.
Yeah, and you'd see it again. I know that John has said that he'd go see it again. If
I'd
somebody
go see it again with friends who'd watched the movie.
Okay.
That I haven't seen it with them. Does that make sense?
Right.
We used to watch it together. Just because I know my wife used to watch True Blood.
Yes.
Back when it was actually good.
Oh yeah, it did the same thing where
Yeah,
you're like, oh my gosh, how many more
piled.
seasons can you ruin
But she
this?
did it with friends.
Right.
And I think that was a collective, I mean, that's what I think we as like people who've grown older with these shows miss about that.
And I think back to your True Blood analogy, what I would do, and it seemed like a lot of fans of Entourage do this too, they did use social media too. It was the kind of show that brought a lot of people together, even online, where they would, lots of people were live tweeting the show and kind of things.
Like Twitter parties.
Twitter parties regarding Entourage. And so, I mean, I think that seeing it how it had that kind of buzz, the fact that those people seem satisfied with it, and, because I will watch online that it was still trending, and even though people were going, this movie's garbagey, even a bunch of people that said that it was garbagey were still saying, yeah, but I can see why you want to go see it.
I'm not going into that particular movie with high expectations anyway. I'm going in just, okay, look, I got an hour and a half just to have some fun and not think, and I'm going to watch some amazing cameos. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of cameos.
Crazy.
Bob
Right.
Gordon's got a main role in there, and Haley Joel Osment has got a significant role in the film, and you get to see him portray something you're like, Sixth Sense kid? What?
Yeah.
But he's
Glad to
completely
see ya.
different. And so it's just good. I mean, there's, you name it, there's professional athletes. There's
Tom Brady's in there.
Who I
Russell
heard was
Wilson.
not that fantastic. Is he?
It's just a cameo. I
Okay.
mean, come on. You can't. It's just, he's just showed up on a jet and he's just playing for like 10 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
It's still
And
funny.
They used to, Doug Allen heard an interview where he said that at the first season when they wanted people to show up because it's about Hollywood, nobody would give them time of the day.
Okay.
But come after the first or second season, he couldn't turn people away. Like, he had to turn people away. Like, it was, people just wanted to be in the show. They didn't care for how long. They didn't care if they had a word to say or not. They didn't care if there was just in the background. Common is in this movie. Did you notice that? He's working out. And that was it. It's just him working out. And he just turns like halfway to the camera. I'm like, that's Common.
I think it would be, I added something to my bucket list. I'd like to have Ari Gold with Jeremy Pivens, with Ari Emanuel, go out for dinner one time, both in character, and let's just duke it out and see who can be
We should have
more
like,
entertaining.
That would be an outstanding. If nothing else, they should do it for
It's on
like
my bucket list.
a celebrity, like a challenge type thing. Like, I'm sure that people like, if you donate enough money to this thing, then we'll both go together and do that. So I think that would be a good. That might be the way to get them both to agree to
Jeremy
do that.
Pivens might actually do a better Ari Emanuel than Ari Emanuel.
Absolutely, but I would like to see it in action for dinner, and Omaze is the.
It was like
the new
Chanhassen
flavor.
dinner theaters.
Come on, you would be rolling the entire time, laughing at those two, sparring it out on those one-liners, and I mean,
Who do you think would win? So you think that so Jayden, you're saying that Jeremy Piven as Ari would be better at being Ari than Ari himself. Is that what we're thinking?
Yes. because
Okay.
I've seen Ari Emanuel speak on several occasions, as far as just YouTube and just following his, because I'm interested in the industry. He's very laid back. He's very thoughtful. He does get angry, but he doesn't spew one-liners like the character on TV does.
Do you think that this is enough that they can have an additional movie? Like in 2 years from now, do we check in with the bros again?
That's why I'm telling everybody to go to this movie, whether you know the series or not. Check it out, and then tweet about it and let us know what you think. And that's the only way some of us will maybe possibly see another show or series.
So since you want another one, you're like, I need to start this social media groundswell.
I just think everybody needs to go to the show and judge for themselves. Would you like to see another one? I mean, I got my hand up, but let's just take a quick poll. Everybody go.
How much was your ticket?
$8.50.
So $8.50. It was very well worth the $8.50.
Oh heck yeah!
Okay,
I mean,
all
you
right.
laugh, you see all the cameos. I mean, there's literally 60 to 70 cameos in this and you're going to laugh and you're going to enjoy your 2 hours of movie. No question. And it moves fast.
So the only character, I mean, what are the other actors doing at this point other than Jeremy Piven? I mean, is it one of those things that this was their big break and now we're all waiting for other people to do stuff? Because I kind of feel like most of the guys I haven't really seen pop up in a lot of other things so far. I'm not seeing, Kevin Connolly and anything else right now. Are they?
Well, Billy Bob Thornton was in this movie and he plays the jerk.
Yeah.
And I think, people could relate to that where you've had somebody come into your work environment and be the absolute jerk in the environment and going, I want this person gone. Or a client comes into your work and goes, I want this person gone. I don't want to work with this person anymore. And the dynamics of how that changes is so relatable in the last 5 years of working with so many different clients and so many different campaigns. Let me tell you, I've seen it all. I've seen clients come in and would not refuse to work with certain people in the room. And you could relate to Billy Bob Thornton.
That, in real life, even though it was a movie.
Absolutely. Okay. And that, I mean, there's a little bit that anybody I think could pull from it and go, yeah, I've had that situation, or it's interesting. And then to have it, perfected on screen with beautiful writing is just really fun.
So him saying that kind of goes back to what Jayton was saying, where it's like going to a movie to see your friends, like some friends you hadn't seen in a while. So is that part of it, that throughout the 8 seasons, these really got to be, you felt like you knew these guys and they were people that you could understand, or each of them related to somebody that might be in your real life. Like, oh, well, you're the Ari of the group. You're the
Vinny Chase.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again,
you're the drama of the group.
I can't stress enough, if you've never seen the series and you don't know any of these people, you should still check it out, because my guess is for $8.50 of pure just jokes, laughs, and, not thinking into it in cinematic review, you're going to have a good time.
Okay, John, of the group, if you had to pick which character you are in the bros group, not character do you want to be, which character are you?
The character I want to be would be Vinny Chase. Who doesn't want to be Vinny Chase?
So you want to be the hot guy who's getting all this, the main dude, and everybody follows you around.
I'd probably be either associated a cross between E and Ari in reality, but I want to be Vinny Chase. Who doesn't want to be Vinny Chase?
And Jayton?
Who
are you?
Am I? I don't know.
Because do you want to be Vinny too? Who do you want?
I actually don't want to be Vinny. I want to be actually more E. So
okay.
I want to be more the behind, more the management. But I think I'm at the moment more Ari, where I am managing a lot of different.
That is so funny.
Personalities, and I don't mind that at all. I would actually love to be Ari. Actually, that's who I am. And that's who I want to be. How's that?
You're married. You love your family.
There it is.
And you're always trying to cut deals to make stuff come together.
All the time. I am Ari Emanuel.
All right, there you go.
But Ari Gold.
There we go.
Jeremy Pivens.
That works.
Sitting right in front of you.
All right.
Bow down.
All hail. I am bowing right now to you listening. I am bowing. My hands are going up and down.
All right, get up off your knees, App Hunter. You did send us some suggestions on some very hot apps going on this week.
You know, it's summertime. Mm-hmm. And in the summer, you were thinking about, if you're single, about who should I meet to hang out with this summer. That's what correct. The summer is fun.
I haven't thought about that in decades.
Well, and John, just to back you up and fill you in about Jayden. Jayden like met his current wife when they were both like 4.5 years old, and they just got married.
The minute it was marriage.
Yeah, the minute
my family got 18 goats for it.
Now they have a cute baby and they're just done. Beautiful baby. The whole dating thing, he's just like, I don't have to do that.
But I'm very interested though, I think, because I have a lot of friends and some family members who are in that pool right now of like, look, I'm done. Like, what the hell? Like, how many things could I be part of to find that one or two individuals that I connect with? Like, there's so many. There are so many.
Right.
There is. And last summer, the big one was Tinder.
Yes, everybody did.
Everybody was on Tinder.
Everybody's swiping left and
still very hot.
Swiping left and swiping right.
But the problem with Tinder is that for people who are 30 or over, you got to pay money to be part of it.
Yes.
So now everybody's like, I just want to do something for free. I want to meet people. What's up? And that's why I scoured the App Store to find the app for you guys here listening today. And the app that I strongly recommend is called Down.
It's called Down.
Down app. And what it is,
it's because before, what was it called? It was called no, tell them what it was called first. And this is why nobody wanted to use it. What was it called before? Something like,
Why you putting me on a spot like
Come-
that?
Because you're
Come
sent
get
it to
it?
me. It
Come
was
get
worse. It was worse the first time. I'm gonna fight it because they
Some
changed the
very
name of it.
obviously, like, was it
Something
long?
tacky. No, it was actually super, super tacky. So you go ahead and talk about Down
Love.
now, and that would be romantic. It was not romantic. It was tacky. So you go ahead and talk about it, and I will look up what the name of it was again because I was like, John, you want me to end up in the trunk of somebody's
how
car.
do you
It did
use
not
down?
sound safe.
No,
What
how,
is- what
how
is
you
down?
use down is it's a way to connect with people on multiple different levels. So some of us are only looking for casual relationships, and some of us are looking for something more. Right.
Yes.
This covers both in one app, and it's free. So you swipe up.
So it doesn't pretend like
It does
No.
not pretend at all. It's you see a profile picture, you swipe up if you're thinking, oh, I could be interested in learning more.
Bang with friends. That's what it used to be called.
Oh my goodness.
See why they changed the name of it? Because Down app sounds a lot less creepy and weird. Where I'm like, bang with friends. I'm not putting that on my phone.
It's not that kind of app anymore. It's not Tinder.
No, but
You
it's
can
similar.
find something more romantic on this one if you're interested in that. That's why you swipe up. That's their whole thing.
Yes.
And you swipe down if you want more of a casual relationship, and it's free.
So if you swipe up, that means that you want something else. If you swipe down, it helps you skip the chatting and get the smacking those cheeks.
What if you
That's
don't
what it
want-
said on their app.
What if you don't want either?
If you don't want it either,
Then don't put
then
this
just hang
app
out
on
with
your
your
phone.
friends.
Yeah. That
But I'm confused though. Let's just say so with Tinder you can swipe right or left, meaning
swipe right. That's it. You swipe right if you like. You swipe left to keep moving on.
exactly.
so how do you keep moving on?
Swiping left on this
Oh.
one
yeah.
too.
So it's still so you could still ignore.
I thought
people.
it was like either you are in a relationship or you want to have sex with them.
No, it adds you one more. It adds one more level, so you can see that person go. I do want to be in a relationship with. So then you would swipe it up.
Yep.
If you go, I like you, but I'm only down to play, then you just swipe down.
I got you.
Which is insulting. So,
So if you see
honest,
Shannon
it's
on
very
there,
honest.
you just make sure you always swipe up to look like you're a little bit more thoughtful. You care a little bit more. You're gonna
If
take
or
your
when.
time with her.
that is true.
She's not looking for the swipe down. She's looking for the swipe up.
So
Everybody.
is this connected via other social media, like, or can anybody just post a picture up and? So
Anyone.
is it via like Facebook? Like, is that how you're connected?
You can, but no, it's literally you just put your own profile on there and get going.
Because
And-
that's the Tinder thing, right? Tinder is connected through. Like,
Yeah, and a lot of them are
things.
doing that now where they're trying to aggregate all that additional information in there to try and help you make better matches. So it's a little big brothery, but for people who don't want to go through all of the eHarmony style, answer a whole lot of questions, if you're willing to give up a little bit of privacy in your other social media, then these apps will sit there and try it. A lot of them have at least some sort of like little matchmaker algorithm that'll help you do some of that groundwork and go, well, at least it'll
Get
pull in
down,
this information.
get
So,
down.
so if you could rate,
Get
if you could
down.
rate this app, what would you rate it?
On a 1 to 5, is that what we're
Sure,
going to do? 1 to 5? Okay.
1 to 5.
One being the worst.
I rate it a 4 because I like that it's got a whole nother level to Tinder.
something
it's
new.
free. It's something new. You can check it out on a daily basis. They keep feeding you new. Hey, you should check out this person. And I think it would be fun for people. And tweet us, leave it on the Facebook page. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so it's
Download
Your
the
Geek
app.
Show. Your Geek Show MN is our Facebook page, and on Twitter we are at Your Geek Show. Very easy to find, and we'll make sure that we put up all the information on our
Are
Facebook
you on
page.
it?
No, I am not on it.
So
He
although a
can't
lot of
be
my
on it
friends
right
are.
now. He can't be
No,
on
I'm
it
just
right
saying.
now.
So how do you try it out if you are not on it, or do you put up a fake picture? Have you-
Oh yeah. No,
have
we
you
tried
actually
it out. I got
Okay.
friends. Don't worry
He's
about
got
it.
guinea pig friends.
I got plenty of friends. Don't worry about
But
that.
he knows that I'm bad about this stuff, so he doesn't use me as a guinea pig anymore. He's like, hey, try out this dating app. No. He suggested them to me before, and it's not like there's anything wrong with them. I'm just really like chicken about those things.
There's
and
only
this
so
kinda
much
thing.
space I have on my phone, man.
I feel like if I was doing that for Miss Shannon here, then I would actually end up being her, liaison for her dates. I'd be like, Shannon, Wednesday, can you do this date? Because this guy seems really nice.
He would have to do that because he is not the only friend that is like
You'd be
disappointed
Ari
in me.
for
He would have to. He is not
For
the
her
only
dating
friend.
life.
I have other friends that have offered because John and I both became single at relatively the same time. So he's like, throw up a social media profile, go on all these online dating things, and I was like, no, that sounds horrific and time consuming. And
Now
I'm
it's
way
starting
too
to
lazy.
feeling more appealing, isn't it
No,
now?
I'm still just sitting up in the house because now I've gotten so lazy that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to put up a new picture and then wonder if the picture looks right. And like, he's looking at me all confused. Like, it's like, and then they're going to email me. I'm going to have to respond. And if somebody, and what if I don't want to talk back to him? I'll have to feel guilty. I'm bad at those things. That's why I'm not a good
You have relationship phobia.
I do. I absolutely do. I will own that. So people who
talk to me here. Yeah. Tell me your inner deep most.
You are very
curious
aware of
thoughts
what's
about
wrong with my relationship.
What's going on with you and men and your version of men?
I love that question. Your version of me.
I know that is true. I feel like, I'm not looking for anything that hard. And then I start listing them out. I'm like, oh, no, that is an odd collection of things that I'm looking for.
I saw the
so
list, actually. You just posted it on Facebook.
Yeah,
I saw
did
the
put
list.
the list out there.
I was like, I don't know a man. Does that man exist?
No, that's why I said no. Yeah. Clearly, I'm also looking for a unicorn. Is what I decided. Because
at the end, you did put that.
I put down unicorn. I said that I was looking for someone who liked kids, cats, comic books. I had a little bit of a shoe fetish, and then I said, okay, clearly I'm looking for a unicorn.
Women's shoe fetish, or
yes. Yeah,
she did put that, and then she got a very interesting comments from her fans. And I was like, okay, this is going nowhere fast. She needs a dating manager to help her present it properly so she doesn't scare away.
But of those things, the only thing that I could compromise, I think, is the shoe thing. But, I just thought that was a good way of saying I like shoes, and I would like him to think that I look cute in the shoes that I like. That was my way of saying that. Why
wouldn't the guy say, yeah, you look great in those shoes?
I think
because I hang around people that are slow. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think a great show would be just one time of Shannon going on the Down app, trying it out, and then coming back to us and reporting on how it went. And what if this summer all the listeners got to go on the journey with you to see you experiment?
I'll bring a video,
rate it,
we'll do it,
and actually do firsthand because you're in the trenches. You're looking for the unicorn, and I think on this show would be a great way to,
Okay, so how about we do this?
Give all of us the ability to do, sit in the front seat and just kind of go on, and we could Periscope these things too,
Or we can even unicorn it. Speaking of unicorn, because isn't that the new version of? So speaking of apps, there's a new one called Unicorn that you also showed me, which was a live stream app, right? You can have on your phone that actually can live stream what you would do on your phone, like if you're on Tinder or Down app or any of those things.
That's right. It sounds like. It's really for some of the geeks out there that are making videos of video games, or they're making videos and post them up on YouTube. And now you can make a video by live streaming what you're doing on your phone, so people could actually watch you surf Tinder or surf any or play any of the games, and then you can post it on YouTube and actually make money. And I'm trying to get to that inner 14-year-old. You make money by keep talking about Minecraft or Clash of Clans or any of the games that are fun that you're into.
And if you get a lot of people that'll follow you and watch you do these things, there's lots of things.
The amount of views, the amount of...
And that's why I wanted to talk about unicorns.
Or what they do on Twitch or something like that.
And that's why I want to talk about unicorns today, because there's actually a really cool app that you live streams your phone, what you're doing on your phone. And you're right. We could actually live stream and use Unicorn to live stream watching Shannon go through all the dating profiles and go, no, don't do it. Or, do that one.
It's like a desktop share?
That's right.
Yes.
For your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's what it is.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And I think it would be a lot of fun. And that's why I wanted to share that one today, because a lot of people didn't know that existed.
Right.
That app existed. And for the inner geek and all of us who wants to share what we're doing or what we're up to, this is a great way to broadcast.
Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll, because we have a couple of things already planned coming up for the next couple of weeks of shows. But we will schedule a time. I will sit down. I will give you that, because he's actually been bugging me, not about this particular thing, but putting up a social media, not a social media one, but a profile before. And
Absolutely.
I've said no for what, like a year and a half? I said no.
I think the audience demands.
They don't demand
that you start going and putting yourself out there, and we all want to see how this train goes down the track.
One, I don't think that the audience cares that much, but I do think that it would be interesting to see how this works. So I do think that it does make a difference how these apps go, and I am curious to see how the Down app works versus like Tinder in real life. So here's what we'll do: is that we'll start it online, and we'll figure out what app we should use. We'll come up with a couple of suggestions, or maybe we come up with 2 or 3. Do we have to do that?
Yeah, and you know what? If some people are listening right now and they have something that they like and they want to see Shannon on it and try it out, I think they should also leave that on the Facebook page in the comment section, because let's get your input as well. Help us out here. Help Shannon find that love connection.
Tell me which one I should try.
That's right.
I'll try it.
Put it on the Facebook page.
I'm already going to tell everybody up front. I will try it. even if I pick somebody, I'm sure it will go terribly wrong, but I am willing to try the app.
I think we should have some ground rules. Like you need to broadcast your date. Because what if you say the wrong thing and you're like immediately talking about shoes and your shoe fetish?
It wouldn't be the shoe thing. If I was gonna tank a date, it wouldn't be the shoe thing. I would talk about something else that they didn't care about. I'm gonna tank the date. I mean, if you're sitting there worrying about whether I'm gonna tank the date or not, then we shouldn't even try this. I'm going to take the date.
Who goes on Tinder / other sites like these and apps like this just to have stories. So she'll have an amazing time, or she'll have a shitty time, or she'll have an okay time, but then she'll write about them.
Yep.
And then she has this collection of just like, this is how this was, and this is how this was. And it's just fascinating, again, through that lens of somebody else is doing it.
That's right.
Their experience of it. So I could, if there was an app for that, that would be kind of cool to have like a collection of stories, like horror stories or good stories, or like this just wasn't a good connection because he lied about this, or this was a wonderful thing, but I just don't think it's appropriate.
All right.
Geeks
and I'll be honest, because I do think that I scare people off because they already presume that I'm going to talk bad about them because I'm a comedian. And they're like, I'm going to end up in your act. You're not going to. No, I write jokes. You're not going to end up in my act unless you are.
The joke.
Exactly. You have to be pretty bad to end up in my act.
And you have met some pretty bad characters over time. I've seen who you've chosen to date, and that's ridiculous. I mean, I've been out to restaurants, and guys will be hitting on her, and she won't even realize it. And then she'll go try and hit on a guy that's like taken, and it's like, what are you doing? Your radar is so off sometimes.
I do.
I'm like, these guys are successful. They're charming. They're really trying to talk to you because they're really interested. Oh no, I think it's just for work. No. Actually, they actually thought you were cute and wanted to talk to you, and you blew them off. Why?
I didn't even notice. That's what it is. I'm presuming that they were trying to make some sort of like networking type thing or, kind of thing. It's always a project is what I figure. So, and he says this, and then still when he tells me who the person is, I'm like, who? No, they weren't hitting on me. So I think he's just an optimist. But that's what you need friends that are very optimistic about you.
Geeks need love too. That's
exactly.
The name of the segment.
So that's what it is. Geeks need love too. All right. And speaking of who also need loves, our fluffy dogly friends also need loves. And that was our last app that we were going to talk about today. There's one called Bark Buddy. And what does that do?
Bark Buddy is the Tinder for finding that special little fluffy one in your neighborhood.
It's so cute.
And it is cute because come on. I mean, dogs are cute, and there's a bunch of cute dogs on there. And the idea is you swipe right or left to adopt a dog. And
cool.
You're
so
going through
waiting
there.
for like, what are you just looking at cute dogs pictures? Like,
no,
it's actually like you're looking for adoption.
You're looking for adoption, and it's really simple, slick the way they lay it out. And when I went on it and checked it out, I thought there was a lot of cute dogs on there. Now, I am pretty open to all these different dogs. I guess I don't have like a type of dog that I'm looking for. I like small dogs. I like big dogs. As long as they're like cute and like a little furry, I like playing with them. And that's about it. But yeah, you swipe right or left, and you can find dogs in your neighborhood. It's called Bark Buddy. Download the app, check it out. And if you want to get a furry one, if you're not ready for the human kind and you want to go to the furry kind, that's the one I recommend.
And is it just for dogs, or dogs and cats, or
no? Just dogs.
This one's just
Bark
dogs.
Okay.
So that's cute. So even if you right now, I would encourage people to go to it because I want, I am not a big dog fan, but I want dogs to find homes, and I feel like it's the kind of thing that if you see enough of these cute dogs, it will pull at your heartstrings, and you will go and rescue one of these dogs that needs a good home.
So are these from the Humane Society? Are these like where these dogs housed? Are these peoples who are looking up for like, hey, look, I can't take care of this puppy anymore. Would love to have a good house.
I think it's both. I think it's actually the Humane Society is putting up dogs, but anybody could put up a dog who wants to.
So if you needed someone, if you had one and you were moving into a place where you can take your dog, you could put it up and try and find the right home for it.
That's right.
So, that's cute.
That's very cute.
That is adorable.
Find the furry one or the human one.
Again, I'm not in the market to get a dog or a cat. I have a little baby. I'm good with that. But I would absolutely go on this particular app and just
you can
look.
browse. You can start browsing.
I'm like, look, I can just kind of support, and maybe a dog comes across my way and go on my screen. I'm like, oh my god, my friend was looking for one.
Yeah.
And I could perhaps recommend.
Or it will complement your baby. You'll go, you'll go to the wife and go, Una, this will complement the baby. And you can go and get another dog and have the dog with the baby. Oh. And they can grow up together.
Bark Buddy, guys.
There we go.
Check it out.
Buddy. That's kind of
Well,
cute.
since new apps are popping up all the time, we'll have to have the app hunter, John Marino, back on sooner rather than later. In the
Thank you.
meantime, what's the best way? Do you want him to follow you on Twitter, or what do you want him to do?
You follow me on Twitter, John_Marino.
Yes.
That'd be fantastic.
Make sure you use the underscore, because there's another John Marino. He's really boring, and so I don't want you to think that that's our friend,
Spell
App
Marino
Hunter.
for us.
Marino. It's Italian.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. And so you can follow him on Twitter, and we will make sure that we put him on our Facebook fan page, and you can
Yes.
find him there. You can always go to yourgeekshow.com, and that links to all of our social media stuff, so super easy to find. And John, we'll figure out some time in the schedule.
Let's do
and
it.
we will go through some of these dating sites just so that we'll guinea pig them for you.
You heard it here first. She has announced on the show, I think this is an exclusive for the dating world of the Twin Cities. Miss Shannon is putting herself online. Stay tuned.
So
More
there's going
details
to
to
be
come.
a mass exodus of people getting
Not
off of
true at
dating
all.
sites now
Not
that they know
true
that,
at all.
oh no, she's going to be on it. So speaking of on it, on your Geek Show next week, we have Lee Egbert. He is the owner of 11 Wells Distillery. So he is a whiskey geek, a bitters geek, and also a big fan of Doctor Who. So he will not only be talking to us about whiskey, he will be talking about Doctor Who companions, is one of his areas of geek expertise. So he will be on next week with us. And so thank you to all of our sponsors. We want to say thank you to Chris McDuffie from Chris McDuffie Photography. Thank you to Custom T-Shirt Central for helping us look adorable in all of our headshots and everything. CustomT-shirtCentral.com is where you can find them. Thanks to TwinCitiesGeeks.com. We are all writing for them right now. And of course, thank you as always to Jayton and his lovely folks over at the Twin Cities Film Fest. Make sure you check them out online and get ready to see some amazing films. They have things that they spotlight every month, and they will have the film festival coming up in October. So again, always check us out, yourgeekshow.com, and we will see you next week.